The rusty Martian dust swirled around Commander Ashley Parker's boots as she approached the abandoned Olympus research station. 50 years of isolation had left the facility's exterior scarred and weathered, its once proud Earth Defense Initiative insignia now barely visible beneath layers of red oxide. Her breath echoed inside her helmet as she traced the faded letters with her gloved hand. "Command, I've reached the main entrance," she reported, her voice steady despite the gravity of her mission. "Beginning override sequence." "Copy that, Commander." Lieutenant Harrison's voice crackled through her comm. "Remember, you've got 2 hours of oxygen. Make them count." The access panel sparked to life under her grandfather's old security codes, codes that should have been wiped when the Galactic Council forced humanity to abandon their outer colonies. Ashley smiled grimly. "Trust old James Parker to leave a back door." The airlock cycled with a wheeze of ancient machinery. As she stepped inside, her helmet's heads-up display registered trace amounts of atmosphere. The station's systems were still functioning at some minimal level. The emergency lights flickered to life, casting long shadows through corridors that hadn't seen a human presence in half a century. She moved purposefully through the facility, following the encrypted map in her datapad. Her grandfather's last message had been clear: what we built there could save us all. At the time, everyone had written it off as the ramblings of a bitter old man, another scientist who couldn't accept the Council's restrictions on human technological development. The deeper she ventured into the facility, the more signs she saw that this was no ordinary research station. Quantum computation arrays lined the walls, their crystalline matrices still humming with potential. Prototype neural interfaces, far more advanced than anything the Council had permitted, gathered dust on workbenches. "Harrison, are you seeing this?" she whispered, her helmet cam transmitting back to their hidden base. "This tech, it's decades ahead of anything we're supposed to have." "That's impossible," he replied, but she could hear the awe in his voice. The Council's monitoring systems would have detected. His voice trailed off as Ashley entered what appeared to be a massive hangar bay. Her helmet lights swept across the space, revealing something that made her heart skip a beat. There, suspended in a cradle of advanced maintenance equipment, hung a ship unlike anything humanity had ever publicly produced. Its hull was smooth and dark, absorbing light in a way that seemed to defy physics. No standard radar would be able to track it. The ship's lines were elegant but predatory, suggesting both speed and power. But it was the subtle patterns flowing beneath its surface that truly caught her attention. The hull appeared to be alive, microscopic machines constantly adjusting and optimizing its structure. "Oh my God," she breathed, approaching a nearby console. "Grandfather, what did you do?" The console activated at her touch, recognizing her genetic signature. A holographic image of James Parker flickered to life, looking exactly as she remembered him from her childhood. "Hello, Ashley," the recording said warmly. "If you're seeing this, then you've finally found the Prometheus. She's everything the Council feared we might create. A perfect fusion of human intuition and machine intelligence. A ship that can learn, adapt, and evolve during combat. A weapon to defend Earth when the real enemy arrives." Ashley's hand trembled as she reached out to touch the ship's hull. Under her fingers, the surface felt warm, almost responsive. "The Council didn't exile us because we were dangerous," her grandfather's recording continued, his voice growing urgent. "They exiled us because we were right. Something is coming, Ashley. Something that scared them so badly they chose to banish their best defenders rather than face the truth. The Prometheus is humanity's answer to that threat, if you have the courage to use her." The ship's systems began powering up around her, responding to her presence. In that moment, Commander Ashley Parker realized she wasn't just discovering a forgotten weapon. She was discovering humanity's chance at redemption. And maybe, if her grandfather was right, their last hope for survival. Lieutenant Jack Harrison felt a shiver run down his spine as he stepped aboard the Prometheus for the first time. 15 years in Council Special Operations hadn't prepared him for this. The ship's interior corridors seemed to pulse with a subtle blue light, responding to the presence of human life. The neural interface stations are online. Technical specialist Olivia Drake called out from the bridge. Her fingers danced across holographic controls that shouldn't exist according to Council tech limitations. Commander, you're not going to believe these readings. The quantum cord is operating on principles that should be theoretical. Ashley Parker strode onto the bridge, her grandfather's old command jacket now adorning her shoulders. Theory becomes practice when you're not afraid to push boundaries, Specialist Drake. That's why the Council feared us. The bridge was unlike anything they'd seen before. Instead of traditional control stations, 5 neural interface pods surrounded a central holographic command well. As Ashley approached, the systems hummed to life, recognizing her DNA. Your grandfather designed this ship to be operated by a crew of 5, Olivia explained, her eyes wide with excitement. Each pod connects directly to a different ship system, but they all network through the command pod. Your pod, Commander. Harrison watched as Ashley ran her hand along the smooth surface of the command pod. And you're sure the Council can't detect us? The quantum fold drive doesn't just hide us, Olivia replied, pulling up complex diagnostic screens. It operates in dimensions the Council doesn't even know how to scan. We're not just invisible, we don't exist as far as their sensors are concerned. The ship's AI interface materialized above the command well, a shifting pattern of light that seemed to study them. Welcome, Commander Parker. All systems are operating within optimal parameters. Shall we begin crew integration? Ashley looked at her small but elite team. Besides Harrison and Drake, there was Dr. Marcus Wells, their medical officer who'd lost his license for developing unauthorized healing technologies, and Chief Engineer Rachel Torres, whose innovative weapon designs had gotten her blacklisted from every Council shipyard. This is your last chance to walk away, Ashley announced, meeting each of their eyes. What we're about to do violates every restriction the Council placed on humanity. Best case, we spend the rest of our lives as fugitives. Worst case. With all due respect, Commander, Harrison interrupted, we stopped caring about Council regulations the moment they turned their backs on Earth. I've seen what's out there. We need this ship. One by one, they took their positions in the neural interface pods. Harrison felt a moment of anxiety as the neural links engaged, then gasped as his consciousness expanded. He wasn't just operating the ship's tactical systems, he was the tactical systems. He could feel the weapon arrays humming with potential, the adaptive shields ready to learn from any attack. Neural synchronization at 87% and climbing, the AI reported. Quantum fold drive spooling. Manufacturing systems online. All combat systems armed and responsive. Through their shared neural link, Harrison felt his crewmates' mix of awe and determination. The ship wasn't just responding to them. It was learning from them, integrating their individual skills and experiences into its combat protocols. Commander, Olivia's voice carried an edge of urgency. I'm picking up unusual quantum signatures at the edge of the system. They match the patterns your grandfather documented. The ones he believed belonged to the real enemy, Ashley finished, her grandfather's warning echoing in her mind. Battle stations. It's time to see what this ship can really do. The Prometheus's engines pulsed with power as their neural link deepened. Through the quantum fold sensors, they could see disturbances that normal ships would miss. Tears in space where something massive was trying to hide. Quantum fold drive engaged, the AI announced. All systems combat ready. The Prometheus awaits your command. Ashley Parker stood in her command pod, feeling the ship become an extension of her will. 50 years of exile had left humanity with something to prove. Now they had the means to prove it. Take us in, she ordered. Let's introduce ourselves to the neighborhood. The Prometheus vanished in a ripple of distorted space, leaving only questions about what would happen when humanity's greatest achievement revealed itself to a galaxy that had rejected them. The Crayaxian war fleet appeared exactly as brutal as their reputation suggested. 5 heavily armed destroyers surrounding a civilian medical transport, like wolves circling wounded prey. Through the Prometheus's quantum sensors, Harrison watched the pirates' targeting systems lock onto the transport's engines. "Those bastards," Rachel Torres spat from her engineering pod. "The transport's broadcasting a Level 1 medical distress signal. They're carrying plague survivors from the Centauri outbreak." Commander Parker's voice carried steel-edged authority through their neural link. "Status report. Kryaxian ships are running standard Council-approved weapons," Harrison reported, the tactical data flowing through his consciousness. "Plasma cannons, void torpedoes, nothing we haven't seen before. But, Commander, helping means revealing ourselves. The Council will know we exist." Specialist Drake, analysis. Olivia's thoughts flowed through their shared network. Transports got about 3 minutes before their shields fail. 2,000 civilians aboard, mostly children. The Kryaxians are jamming their distress calls. Ashley's decision rippled through their neural link before she voiced it. "We didn't build this ship to hide forever. Mr. Harrison, target their lead vessel. Let's show them how humanity handles bullies." The Prometheus burst into normal space like an avenging spirit, its quantum-fold drive creating a ripple effect that temporarily disrupted the pirates' targeting systems. Through their neural interface, the crew felt the ship's excitement. Its first real combat, a chance to prove its worth. By the void. The Kryaxian commander's transmission crackled across their comms. "What manner of vessel?" Harrison didn't let him finish. The Prometheus's main gun spoke, not with typical energy weapons, but with concentrated streams of weaponized quantum particles. The lead Kryaxian ship shields didn't just fail, they ceased to exist at a quantum level. "Impossible." The alien captain's voice broke with fear. "No Council species possesses such technology." "That's because we're not a Council species," Ashley broadcasted, her voice cold. "We're humanity. And you're attacking children." 2 Kryaxian destroyers opened fire, their plasma cannons burning bright against the void. The Prometheus's adaptive shields absorbed the attacks, its AI instantly analyzing and countering the weapon signatures. Through their neural link, the crew felt the ship learning, evolving, becoming stronger with each hit. "Shields at 118% capacity," Rachel reported with a grin. "The more they shoot us, the better our defenses get." "God, your grandfather was a genius, Commander." The Prometheus danced through space with impossible grace, its movements guided by the merged consciousness of ship and crew. Harrison's targeting solutions merged with Ashley's strategic insight, creating attack patterns that no single human or AI could have devised alone. A second Kryaxian vessel erupted in a quantum cascade as its reactor containment failed. The remaining pirates broke formation, trying to escape, but the Prometheus was everywhere and nowhere, its quantum-fold drive allowing it to literally appear inside their shield perimeters. "Medical transport is hailing us," Olivia announced. "Their captain. He's crying, Commander." The last Kryaxian ship surrendered just as Council peacekeeping forces arrived at the edge of the system. Through their quantum sensors, the crew watched the Council vessels freeze in shock at the scene before them. 3 destroyed Kryaxian destroyers, 2 captured, and an unknown vessel that defied their understanding of physics. "They're scanning us," Harrison reported. "Trying to, anyway. Their sensors can't make sense of what they're seeing." Ashley stood in her command pod, feeling the Prometheus's power humming through their shared neural network. "Send one message to the Council ships, then take us into Quantum Fold. Keep it simple, Specialist Drake." The message flashed across all Council frequencies in plain text. "Humanity sends its regards." As the Prometheus vanished into quantum space, they caught the beginning of an explosion of communications from the Council vessels. Through their enhanced sensors, they could already see the news spreading across Council space at FTL speeds. Humanity wasn't just back, they had returned with technology that should not exist. "Well," Harrison said, allowing himself a smile, "I'd say that counts as a successful test flight." Ashley watched the quantum readings of the Council's confusion with grim satisfaction. This was just the beginning. Ready or not, the galaxy's about to remember why they feared us in the first place. The Prometheus slipped between dimensions, carrying its crew toward a future where humanity would no longer hide in exile. They had made their statement. Now it was time to prepare for the response. The Council's emergency session chamber hadn't seen this much chaos in centuries. Holographic representatives from 100 species shouted over each other as footage of the Prometheus's battle against the Crayaxian pirates played on endless loop above the central dais. The humans have violated every restriction placed upon them. High Counselor Vexera of the Archean Confederation slammed his crystalline appendage against his podium. This weapon of war must be found and destroyed before. Before what? The younger representative of the Nexus Collective, Zora 7, interrupted. Before they save more of our children. The transport's logs are clear. 2,000 survivors, mostly younglings, would have died without their intervention. In the shadows of the observation gallery, a cloaked figure watched the debate with keen interest. The quantum fold technology that hid the Prometheus also allowed for smaller applications, like making Commander Ashley Parker invisible to Council security. They're exactly as divided as your grandfather predicted, Harrison's voice whispered through her neural implant. The rest of the crew maintained station keeping aboard the Prometheus, hidden in the space between dimensions just outside the Council's capital world. The younger species are defending us, Ashley observed, watching as more representatives joined Zora 7's position. They don't share the old guard's fear. Fear based on lies, Olivia added through their link. Commander, I finished decrypting more of your grandfather's files. The Council didn't just exile us. They deliberately sabotaged Earth's development to keep us from reaching our potential. They saw what we could become, and it terrified them. Below, the debate had turned to examining the Prometheus's capabilities. Technical analysts struggled to explain weapons that violated their understanding of physics, shields that grew stronger under attack, and a drive system that seemed to ignore dimensional constraints. This level of advancement in merely 50 years of isolation is unprecedented, declared Representative Kittle of the Science Ministry. It suggests either outside assistance or humanity's potential was vastly underestimated. Zara 7 finished. Perhaps intentionally so. The chamber erupted again, but a new tone had entered the arguments. Younger species began demanding access to the classified records of humanity's exile. Others called for immediate diplomatic contact with Earth. Specialist Drake. Ashley whispered, "Are you recording all this?" "Every word, Commander. The quantum receivers are picking up their private communications too. The Archean Confederation is already mobilizing its fleet, but the Nexus Collective is threatening economic sanctions if any action is taken against Earth." High Counselor Vexera raised his appendages for silence. Need I remind the Council that humanity's reckless pursuit of technology nearly caused multiple disasters? Their neural interface experiments alone were successful, Zara 7 countered, displaying enhanced scans of the Prometheus in action. The perfect merger of organic intuition and machine precision. Their ship doesn't just operate, it evolves, adapts, learns. While we've spent centuries afraid of advancing too quickly, humanity has shown us what we could achieve if we overcame our fears. Ashley smiled beneath her cloak as more representatives moved to support the Nexus Collective's position. A subtle vibration in her neural implant signaled an incoming transmission from the ship. "Commander," Rachel's excited voice filled her mind. "The quantum core just picked up something massive at the edge of Council space. The energy signature. It matches your grandfather's warnings perfectly." Ashley's blood ran cold. "How long?" "Days, maybe hours. Whatever's coming, it's big enough to distort space-time around it. The Council's sensors won't detect it until it's too late." Below, the debate raged on, unaware of the approaching threat. Ashley watched the divided Council with newfound urgency. They had revealed themselves by saving the medical transport, but the real test was yet to come. "Harrison, prepare the ship for emergency protocols. Drake, transmit everything we've learned to Earth through the quantum network. Torres, I want those weapons at maximum capacity." "What are you planning, Commander?" Harrison asked, though their neural link meant he already suspected. Ashley took one last look at the squabbling council before activating her quantum fold device. "We're going to prove humanity's worth once and for all. When that threat arrives, they'll have to choose: maintain their fear of us, or face extinction." As she vanished from the gallery, the council's debate about humanity's fate became suddenly, tragically irrelevant. The true enemy was approaching, and only the outcasts they had banished could save them all. The Prometheus hung in quantum fold space, its sensors extending across dimensions that council technology couldn't comprehend. Through the neural interface, Commander Ashley Parker watched as the massive void signatures approached, each one larger than anything humanity had ever encountered. "Decryption complete," Olivia announced, her voice tense through their shared link. "Commander, your grandfather's final logs. They're worse than we imagined." The holographic display materialized in the command well, showing James Parker's aged face. His eyes carried the weight of terrible knowledge. "The Void Collective isn't just another alien civilization," the recording began. "They're what happens when a species surrenders its soul to pure machine efficiency. I discovered their probe 20 years before our exile. The Council, they already knew. They've known for centuries." Harrison's tactical displays lit up with movement. Multiple quantum ruptures detected. "They're not even trying to hide anymore." The recording continued, James Parker's voice growing urgent. "The Council's solution was appeasement. Give them what they want. Stay quiet. And pray they pass you by. But humanity, we were different. When I showed them my analysis, proved the collective was mapping invasion routes, the Council realized we wouldn't stay quiet. Wouldn't play their game of submission. 3 Council worlds just went dark," Rachel reported from engineering. "Their quantum signatures, they're being erased from existence." Ashley felt cold fury building as her grandfather's final message played. "The Prometheus isn't just a warship, Ashley. She's the prototype for humanity's answer to the Void Collective. Neural interfaces that they can't hack. Quantum weapons that can disrupt their hive mind. Adaptive systems that can match their evolution. Everything the Council feared about humanity. Our aggression, our innovation, our refusal to accept limitations. It's exactly what's needed to fight this enemy." "Commander," Marcus called from his medical pod, "I'm analyzing the data from those fallen worlds. The collective isn't just conquering them. They're converting them, turning organic matter into computational resources." The recording showed James Parker looking directly at where Ashley now stood. "They exiled us to silence us, but in doing so, they gave us the freedom to prepare. Every restriction they placed on humanity, we broke. Every advancement they feared, we perfected. The Prometheus carries all of it, not just weapons, but hope. Hope that when the collective finally shows its true face, humanity will be ready to stand and fight." Multiple Council distress calls detected, Harrison reported grimly. "Their defensive fleets are being torn apart. Their weapons can't even penetrate collective shields." Ashley closed her eyes, feeling the Prometheus's systems through their neural link. The ship hummed with power, with potential, with humanity's defiant creativity given form in steel and quantum energy. "Your grandfather left one more thing, Commander," Olivia said softly. "Coordinates, a hidden facility in the Kuiper Belt. There's more ships out there, a whole fleet of Prometheus-class vessels waiting for crews trained to use them." Through their shared consciousness, Ashley felt her crew's mix of emotions: fear at the scale of the threat, anger at the Council's betrayal, and fierce determination to prove humanity's worth. The Prometheus wasn't just their ship anymore. It was humanity's vindication. "Harrison, plot a course for the nearest Council world under attack. Drake, transmit everything we've learned about the collective to Earth and our allies in the Council. Torres, bring the quantum weapons to full power. Dr. Wells, prepare medical protocols for treating converted victims. There has to be a way to save them. The Council will see us coming. Harrison warned, though she felt his eagerness for battle through their link. "We'll be violating every restriction they placed on us." Ashley watched the tactical display as more worlds began to fall, as the Council's mighty fleets crumbled before an enemy they had tried to ignore. An enemy that only humanity had prepared to fight. "The Council has a choice to make," she declared, feeling the Prometheus's systems surge with power. "They can maintain their restrictions and die, or they can accept our help and live. Either way, humanity's done hiding." The Prometheus leaped into quantum fold, carrying humanity's best and brightest toward a battle that would decide not just Earth's fate, but the survival of all organic life in the galaxy. The time for politics was over. The time for war had begun. The Council Defense Fleet over New Terra burned. Void collective ships, massive crystalline structures that seemed to devour light, methodically tore through the most advanced vessels the Council had ever built. Through the Prometheus's quantum sensors, Ashley watched Council crews fight bravely and die helplessly against an enemy they weren't prepared to face. Multiple conversion beams detected, Harrison reported, his voice tight. "They're not just destroying the ships, they're assimilating them, turning crews into computational nodes for their hive mind." Not for long. Ashley's command echoed through their neural link. "All hands, combat stations, let's introduce ourselves." The Prometheus burst from quantum fold space directly between the Council fleet and the collective ships. For a moment, both sides paused, confronted by technology that shouldn't exist. "This is Commander Ashley Parker of the Earth vessel Prometheus," she broadcast on all frequencies. "Council ships, adjust your shields to match our quantum frequency. Collective vessels, you have one chance to retreat." The response came not in words, but in a scream of corrupted data that tried to invade their systems. Through their neural interface, the crew felt the Prometheus's AI deflect the attack, learning, adapting, growing stronger. "They can't comprehend it," Olivia said with grim satisfaction. "Our neural interface is organic and synthetic at once. They can't hack what they can't understand." "Show them why humanity was feared," Ashley commanded. The Prometheus's quantum weapons lashed out, their attacks bypassing the collective's supposedly impenetrable shields. Where Council weapons had bounced harmlessly off, humanity's forbidden technology cut deep. The first collective ship didn't just explode. It unraveled at the quantum level. "Council vessels, this is Lieutenant Harrison. Transmitting tactical data now. Your conventional weapons won't work, but if you modify your shield harmonics to these frequencies, you can at least survive their attacks." Through their neural link, the crew felt the ship's excitement as it engaged in its first full-scale battle. Each attack from the collective taught them something new. Each defensive maneuver made them stronger. This was what the Prometheus was built for, not just fighting, but evolving during combat. "Command, we're being hailed," Olivia reported. "It's Admiral Catal of the Council fleet." "Commander Parker," the Admiral's hologram appeared, his crystalline features showing clear shock. "Your methods are unorthodox, but effective. We require assistance." Ashley allowed herself a grim smile. "That's why we're here, Admiral. But understand, we do this our way. No more restrictions. No more fears about human aggression or innovation. Either humanity is a full ally, or we leave you to your fate." The battle raged as the Admiral considered. The Prometheus danced through space, its quantum drive allowing it to appear and disappear at will. Where Council ships fought with rigid formations and predictable patterns, the human vessel moved with controlled chaos, its AI and human crew working in perfect synthesis. "Collective ships are adapting," Harrison warned. "They're learning from each attack, but so are we." Rachel's voice carried excitement through their link. "The quantum core is processing their attack patterns. Each engagement makes our countermeasures more effective. Commander, we're not just fighting them. We're out-evolving them." "Admiral," Ashley addressed the Council commander, "I'm transmitting coordinates to Earth's outer system. We have more ships like the Prometheus, but we need crews trained in our methods. Your younger officers, the ones not afraid to try new approaches, send them to us. We'll teach them how to fight this enemy." The admiral watched as another collective ship dissolved under the Prometheus's weapons. His next words would reshape Council policy forever. "Agreed, Commander. The Council's restrictions on human technology are hereby suspended. Teach us to fight as you do." The battle above New Terra became a legend, the day humanity returned from exile to save those who had banished them. But for the crew of the Prometheus, it was just the beginning. "Send word to Earth," Ashley ordered as they finished off the last collective ship. "Tell them to activate the fleet. It's time to remind the galaxy why humanity never stops evolving, never stops fighting, and never, ever surrenders." The war for organic life had begun, and humanity would lead the charge. The space above the Council's capital world, Exemplar Prime, warped and twisted as the largest void collective fleet ever detected emerged from hyperspace. Thousands of crystalline ships, each a city-sized monument to machine perfection, formed a wall of certain death. But they weren't facing defenseless prey anymore. The Prometheus led a fleet of 50 ships just like her, each crewed by a mix of humanity's best and carefully selected Council species who'd adopted human combat doctrine. Through their linked quantum network, Ashley felt the presence of every captain, every crew, their minds joined in a symphony of organic and artificial harmony. "Collective ships are broadcasting," Olivia reported. "They're laughing at us. They say our rebellion against machine perfection is illogical. Let's show them why chaos theory beats perfect logic," Ashley commanded. "All ships, execute battle plan Prometheus." The human fleet dissolved into quantum space, reappearing at seemingly random vectors. Unlike the rigid, predictable formations of traditional Council warfare, this was controlled chaos, a dance of death choreographed by human intuition and machine precision. "They can't predict what they can't understand," Harrison called out, his tactical systems coordinating attacks across the fleet. "Every ship, pick your targets. Fight like humans. Adapt, improvise, overcome." The battle erupted in a display of technology that broke every rule the Council had ever written. Quantum weapons tore holes in reality. Adaptive shields learned and evolved from every hit. Neural-linked crews thought and moved as one, their ships becoming extensions of human will. "They're trying to hack our network." Olivia's hands flew across her controls. "Their viral code is..." "Wait. Rachel, are you seeing this?" "Hell yes." The engineer grinned through their link. "Their attack code is giving us direct access to their command protocols. They're so focused on efficiency, they never considered we use their own hack attempt against them." Through the quantum network, Ashley felt the battle's tempo change. The collective's perfect formations began to falter as human unpredictability wreaked havoc on their calculations. Where they expected surrender, they found defiance. Where they predicted retreat, they met advance. "Commander," Marcus called urgently, "I'm detecting massive power buildup in their flagship. They're preparing something big." The collective flagship, a behemoth that dwarfed even the Prometheus, began to pulse with dark energy. Its conversion beam, powerful enough to transform entire continents into computer nodes, powered up. "All ships, form on me," Ashley ordered, feeling the Prometheus's systems surge with power. "Remember your training. Remember why humanity never stopped pushing boundaries." Harrison, "Coordinate our quantum weapons." Drake, "Plot their weak points." Torres, "Give me everything the core has got." 50 human-led ships moved as one, their quantum drives synchronizing in ways the collective's pure logic couldn't comprehend. The Prometheus led the charge, its weapon systems fully evolved after multiple engagements. "Their flagship shields are at 300% normal capacity," Harrison reported. "No conventional weapon could breach that." "Good thing we don't do conventional," Ashley smiled. "All ships, execute attack pattern Parker Alpha. Let's show them why humanity was worth fearing." The synchronized quantum strike hit the collective flagship from 50 different dimensional vectors simultaneously. For a moment, Space itself seemed to scream as human ingenuity met machine perfection head-on. The flagship's shields didn't just fail. They imploded, creating a cascade that ripped through its crystalline structure. The massive vessel began to break apart, its perfectly ordered systems unable to cope with the chaos humanity had introduced. Multiple collective ships are attempting emergency retreats, Harrison announced, triumph in his voice. Their hive mind is fragmenting. They can't process their defeat. Through the quantum network, Ashley felt the exhilaration of every crew member, human and alien alike. This wasn't just a victory, it was vindication. Proof that humanity's flaws, their aggression, their creativity, their refusal to accept limitations, were exactly what the galaxy needed. Send word to all Council worlds, she commanded, watching the remaining collective ships flee in disarray. Tell them humanity's response to their exile. You're welcome. Above Exemplar Prime, the combined fleet regrouped, their quantum drives humming with power. They had done more than win a battle. They had proved that the future belonged to those brave enough to evolve, to adapt, to reach beyond their limitations. The Void Collective had met humanity at last, and machine perfection had blinked first. The council chamber fell silent as Commander Ashley Parker strode to the central podium, her grandfather's jacket now adorned with both Earth and Council medals. The Prometheus hung visible in the sky above, a reminder of how far humanity had come from their days of exile. 50 years ago, she began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. You feared what humanity might become. Today, I stand before you as proof of what that fear cost us all. The Void Collective nearly succeeded because you were too afraid of change to embrace evolution. Through her neural link, she felt her crew's presence aboard the Prometheus. Harrison at tactical, Olivia monitoring communications, Rachel keeping the quantum core purring, and Marcus analyzing the last traces of collective technology. They had become more than a crew. They were living proof that humans could merge with technology without losing their humanity. The traditional council members demand we restrict these technologies again, High Counselor Vexera announced, though his voice lacked its former certainty. The neural interfaces, the quantum weapons, the adaptive systems, they remain dangerous. With respect, Counselor, Ashley replied, activating a holographic display that filled the chamber. That's no longer your decision to make. The display showed dozens of worlds, former council members who had already adopted human technology and training, young species who had seen the Prometheus in action and recognized that progress couldn't be achieved through fear. Humanity doesn't ask for readmission to the council, Ashley continued, feeling the weight of Earth's future in her words. We propose its complete reformation. The Galactic Defense Initiative, a new alliance where innovation is celebrated, not feared, where species learn from each other instead of restricting each other. Zara 7 of the Nexus Collective stood in support. The old council would have fallen to the collective. Only by embracing human methods, their adaptability, their controlled aggression, their fusion of organic intuition and machine precision, did we survive. I vote for reformation. One by one, representatives rose to support the motion. Even some of the elder species, having witnessed the Prometheus fleet in action, recognized that the galaxy had changed forever. The Prometheus was never meant to be just a warship, Ashley revealed, triggering a final holographic display. My grandfather designed her as a teacher. Every system, every innovation, was meant to show what's possible when we stop fearing our potential. The display showed the new Prometheus Academy on Mars, where crews from 100 species trained together, learning to merge human creativity with their own unique strengths. The quantum network that once linked their battle fleet now connected minds across the galaxy, sharing knowledge at the speed of thought. The Void Collective believed that perfect logic was the ultimate evolution. Ashley continued, we proved that true evolution comes from embracing chaos, from daring to try new things, from being willing to fail and learn and grow. That's humanity's gift to the galaxy, not our technology, but our spirit. High Counselor Vexera, last of the old guard, finally bowed his crystalline form. The motion carries. The Galactic Council is dissolved. The Defense Initiative will take its place, with humanity and the Prometheus fleet as its guardians. Through her neural link, Ashley felt her crew's satisfaction. Harrison's tactical displays showed the reformed Council fleet adopting human combat doctrines. Olivia's sensors detected quantum communications spreading between worlds, sharing innovations without fear. Rachel's engineering logs recorded dozens of species beginning their own neural interface programs, while Marcus's medical data showed the successful integration of human and alien biology. "Commander," the High Counselor addressed her formally. "What are your orders for the initiative?" Ashley smiled, feeling the Prometheus's systems hum through their link. The ship had evolved far beyond its original design, just as humanity had evolved beyond its original limitations. We explore, we innovate, we grow. And if another threat emerges from the darkness between stars, we face it together, without fear. Above the Council world, the Prometheus's quantum core pulsed with power, ready for whatever challenges awaited. Humanity had returned from exile, not just to save the galaxy, but to lead it into a future where the only limitation was the courage to imagine what might be possible. The age of fear was over. The age of evolution had begun.